Right now at 10, a Halloween snowstorm, trick-or-treaters battling Mother Nature, and a record-setting snowfall.
And the president today signing off on a post office name change in Sun Prairie to honor Captain Corey Barr more than a year after his death.
Plus, as temperatures fall along with the snow, a few things to keep in mind as you bundle up and buckle up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Well, the snow has come to an end, leaving behind that blanket of white. The main concern right now, any leftover water or snow on our roadways. It could freeze overnight, making for a slick commute in the morning. Thanks for joining us tonight. There were dozens of reported crashes, slide-offs today after the first significant snowfall of the season.
In the process, we broke several records in Madison, including the most ever snow in October and the most snow on Halloween. And we have team coverage tonight. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti keeping an eye on what to expect next, and Amy Reed out tonight with the trick-or-treaters. Now
we start with Gary, a look at our first alert forecast. Gary?
Well, it was, as you mentioned, it was a record snowfall for not only Madison, but much of the Midwest. In fact, some of the major reporting stations, these are the snowfall totals for the entire storm. And Milwaukee, Madison, Chicago, and Rockford all set records for the snowiest Halloween ever. Here in Madison, 5.1 inches for the entire storm, but 4.0 inches fell today. You can see to the north and west, though, the amounts dropped off pretty dramatically. La Crosse only had a trace of snow. Now, with that fresh snow cover, temperatures are in the upper teens to the middle 20s, already down to 19 in Baraboo Dells and 18 in Camp Douglas, and wind chills right now are in the teens and lower 20s. By tomorrow morning, actual temperatures will drop into the teens. Look for high temperatures tomorrow to be in the upper 30s, but clouds will move back in. We could see some rain and snow showers in the afternoon. Should not amount to anything, nothing that will stick to the ground, but later on I'll take a look at a forecast that unfortunately includes more cold weather thanks to the snow.
All right, Gary, a live look at the Beltline at John Nolan Drive at this hour. Things moving along pretty well right now. That looks pretty dry there. The highway clear of snow as well. Be careful on your side streets and parking lots, sidewalks as well. Some may be a little icy as those temperatures continue to fall overnight.
The wintry weather also proving to be dangerous for first responders. While responding to an armed robbery at a convenience store late last night, a Milwaukee police car hit a patch of ice. The squad car plowed into a gas pump and also hit an occupied vehicle. Fortunately, in this case, no one was injured and the automatic gas shutoff was triggered, so there was no fire. Halloween costumes got some last-minute additions today as parents bundled their kids for the cold and the snow.
The temperatures in the 20s and 30s tonight. Amy Reed joins us now from the patio to show us how that all went over. Amy?
You spend all year planning the perfect costume, and then the cold and the snow come around and ruin it. But if you didn't want to freeze today, you had to make it work.
Why don't you try these on?
It's a little early for glove shopping, but this kind of winter gear is a little more specific.
That's not very Michael Jackson-like, though.
Fit for the king of pop for Braden and straight from Hogwarts for McKenna.
I just feel sorry for them, but they'll be okay. We'll bundle them and they'll stay warm, hopefully.
Hey, they're in good company. Blaine's Farm and Fleet has had a lot of visitors in the last few days, if you can't tell.
This is definitely a first for me, having it this early, this fast, and this picked over. It's great. We love it. We'll have more in very quickly.
A first for a lot of people.
I don't remember a Halloween like this before. No.
Rachel's son Max didn't want to wreck his dino getup with the extra layers.
I tried it on, but it looked really ugly.
Good thing Mom's there anyway.
Back up. I still have it. Oh, what?
Don't worry, Max. We have it on good authority. The layers only mean extra candy.
If it's cold, you better have two. I'm gonna give you two then too, huh?
Not as many people are probably going trick-or-treating, so they're like give the people that are more candy.
Something like that. Some wanted to brave it anyway, like Kim Possible.
Very cold.
Where's your jacket?
Mom has it.
She was smart.
But maybe there's wisdom in the ages.
Theo's my young name. Norman is my old man name. I am 87. I would say 87 is the best age because they're just the best.
They're still having fun, and even at his old age, they'll remember this Halloween for a long time.
Happy Halloween!
Thanks to the snow, not every community had trick-or-treating tonight. Elkhorn pushed theirs to Sunday. We'll see how the snow looks then.
Yeah, numbers were down a little bit in a lot of houses. People just
I only had 9.
Didn't want to deal with it. I don't blame them. It was cold. Amy Reed on the backyard patio. Come on in and warm up, Amy. A 7-year-old girl, unfortunately, in critical condition tonight after being shot while trick-or-treating on Chicago's west side. A fire department spokesman says the girl was shot in the lower neck area, taken to a hospital. The Chicago Tribune reporting she was dressed as a bumblebee. Police say a 30-year-old man was also shot in the left hand, taken to a nearby hospital. They say the girl, who was out with her family for Halloween, is believed to be an unintended victim.
Local farmers already had a late start to harvesting crops this year, and now the early arrival of snow put farmers at a standstill. Farmers have to wait for all of the snow to melt off the plants and crops before harvesting can continue. But even then, the ground will be more saturated than usual, which makes moving machinery difficult.
With all the snow on the ear and on the plant, when this goes through the combine, the snow will plug up our sieves on the combine, and so then that prevents the grain from falling through and us to be able to capture it.
Venable still expects the crops to survive, and he says he hopes to get back into the field by next week.
Well, if you're away from your TV, be sure to download our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app. It includes interactive radar, our accurate forecast, and up-to-the-minute traffic information, all for free in your app store. A building in Sun Prairie will soon bear the name of the city's fallen hero.
President Trump signed a bill today to name the post office in honor of Fire Captain Corey Barr. Rose Schmidt sat down with his widow, Abby, and tells us what this name change means to the family and the community he left behind.
Well, this unique way of honoring Captain Barr has been in the works for more than a year now. There's no word yet on when that name change will happen, but just knowing that it's on its way is more than enough for Abby.
What's your favorite candy?
After a cold, snowy night of trick-or-treating with her girls, Abby Barr has some warm news to come home to in Sun Prairie. News all the way from Washington.
Kind of a ink dry kind of person, so until, Trump actually put his signature on it, I didn't want to get my hopes up.
Abby learned that President Donald Trump had signed legislation renaming the post office in honor of her husband, Corey, who died last year responding to a deadly natural gas explosion in Sun Prairie.
To have a federal building named in Corey's honor is just amazing. And I don't think people quite fully grasp and understand how much of a true honor that is.
Sun Prairie's only post office on Linaroo Drive will soon be designated as the Fire Captain Corey Barr Post Office.
I do go there, and now it'll have a whole new meaning when I do go there.
The idea for the name change was born just weeks after the explosion from Wisconsin's U.S. Senators and Congressman Mark Pocan.
It's a government building, post office. It'll be here 100 years from now. That means 100 years from now, we'll still be remembering what Corey Barr did for us on the night of July 10th, 2018. I think that's pretty special.
Special not just to the mayor and the city he represents, but to Abby, Aubrey, and Haley.
Corey was raised in Sun Prairie. He was born and raised in Sun Prairie. And to raise them in Sun Prairie is going to be for them to know their father. And the post office will be one of those things where, they'll be able to know their father, what July 10th, 2018 meant for our family and for the community.
Mayor Esser says he would like to have a ceremony when that name change officially happens. I also spoke with Congressman Pocan on the phone today. He says it's important to remember Barr and the firefighters who were injured last July, and this is just one way to make sure the community never forgets that.
Rose, thank you. As we deal with the snow here, parts of California are still being devastated by fast-moving wildfires. But even as the bad news piles up, we are hearing the worst may finally be over. The shifting weather should help firefighters keep the upper hand on threatened areas in Simi Valley, California. And to the north, crews are finally taking control of fires that have destroyed at least 140 homes in wine country in Sonoma County. President Trump and First Lady Melania are no longer New Yorkers after filing paperwork to move their permanent residency down to the state of Florida. According to court documents filed with the Palm Beach County Circuit Court, President Trump, a native New Yorker, changed his permanent residence to his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach late last month. First Lady Melania, she followed suit in October. The documents assert that the Florida resort is now Trump's predominant and principal home.
The opening of the Nicholas Recreation Center is being significantly delayed. According to a report from UW-Madison, it was originally scheduled to open in January of next year. The plan now is to open the center in late 2020. Officials say the opening is delayed due to weather and construction challenges. And even though students aren't able to use it yet, they will have to continue to pay the fall 2019 increase in segregated fees, some of which go to the center.
We're just as excited to get into the facility as they are. And, you know, we share the disappointment that it's not going to open in January, but we're working really hard with our partners on the project to make sure that we can get into the facility as soon as possible.
Workers will continue finishing the recreation center this winter. The UW Rec-Well will post updates on its website and social media with an opening date.
Still ahead tonight, Gary will have his complete forecast. How long we can expect this snow to stick around and if there's any more on the way.
But first, as we prepare for winter, a few things to keep in mind as you bundle and buckle up. Stay with us. Nearly 2 of every 5 young children who die in car accidents are not restrained properly.
Up to 84% of seatbelts and car seats are misused at a critical level. And at this time of the year, parents have another factor to worry about: layers. Danica Lewis explains.
Bundling my kids up, putting scarves on, make sure they have everything, and we're prepared for school. Hi, everyone.
It's a process Rockman Weatherby estimates adds at least 30 minutes to little Christian's getting ready routine.
My daughter is a diva. She likes to coordinate her clothes every morning.
Add an 8-year-old son to the mix.
Such a hand.
Then Weatherby says removing all of the layers before loading up in the car just isn't practical.
Not at all. As a parent, you got to bundle up and get to those destinations and then get back.
If you have a puffy winter coat, it's definitely noticeable that it makes it a lot more difficult to get the seatbelt tight.
Even so,
do you want to climb in?
Elsa Gum says when it comes to 4-year-old Saren and her older sister,
It's always a matter of choosing your battles. So it's get in the car and get to school and try not to be late. Do you want me to finish it for you? Yeah? And so taking coats on and off an additional time is usually not a battle that I want to fight. All right, we're in.
It is an extra step, but it's an important one to keep those kiddos safe.
All set?
Usually by this stage, they're able to kind of climb up themselves.
Sherry Faust is a child safety educator with the Safe Kids Coalition.
Buckle that chest clip.
Her job is to teach parents about things like the pinch test.
I can't grab any to take a tuck.
And other factors that ensure car seats are protecting their young passengers the way they're supposed to. That mission becomes harder the more layers are piled on.
We really want those harnesses tight to the body, not that outerwear.
Faust encourages parents to take off the coats, the fleeces, the thick sweaters, all of it, or drape them over the straps.
We want to reduce those injuries, so keeping the harness tight to the body helps the child to ride down the crash with the car seat and not become more momentum and faster and cause injury.
Because whether you're bundling up or buckling up,
Tucked in away.
it's precious cargo you don't want to risk.
We just want to make sure our children are warm and safe on the way to school and back home.
Danica Lewis, News 3 Now.
The Safe Kids Coalition has free car seat checks on a regular basis for any parents who want to make sure theirs is installed and used correctly.
We have information on the next few events on channel3000.com.
A Halloween tradition lighting up the streets for neighbors on the west side, where a display of lights is in sync with music. At Colony Drive at South Gammon, pumpkins, ghouls, and skeletons are dancing with the help of 42,000 LED lights. Those lights will be on again this weekend and on Christmas Day and Eve as well.
And if you're not a big fan of the snow, well, guess what? Here's someone who is. The Henry Vila Zoo posted this video of Nunique, the polar bear, playing outside today. If you have been frustrated about having to clear that snow off your car, your sidewalk, hopefully this will put a smile on your face.
And as we've always said, Gary, once that snow shows up, it stays cold, and it's going to be here, right? And it's going to keep us cold.
I don't see anything really to melt a lot of it, at least over the next week to 10 days. So that's going to keep our temperatures below normal. Here are some of the snowfall reports reported to the National Weather Service. You can see Janesville just shy of 7 inches, Beaver Dam 6.7 inches, the National Weather Service office at Sullivan a little over 6 inches, officially Madison 5.1 inches. 4 inches of that was today. That set a record. Lodi at 5 inches and just shy of 5 inches in Beloit. So here in Madison, that 4.0 inches makes it our snowiest Halloween on record. Milwaukee, Chicago, and Rockford, Illinois also had their snowiest Halloweens on record. For the month now, that gives us 8.1 inches. It's the snowiest October ever on record, and it gives us a good head start on the snowfall totals for the winter. Normally, for an entire winter, we get about 50 inches of snow, so that we're up to almost a tenth of that right now. Looking at some of the snowier Octobers in the years past, yes, those ended up with above normal snowfall totals for the entire winter, but I think it's more of a function of just getting that snow earlier in the season when you normally don't get it in October. And looking forward to November, we should start out tomorrow at 52 degrees. We're going to be about 20 degrees below that, and by the end of the month, that's about where we are now. The warmest day ever in November, 76 degrees back in 1915, but it's been as cold as 14 below zero toward the end of the month. Normally for the month of November, we get 3.6 inches of snow. We've already surpassed that for the month of October. And take a look at the temperatures over the next 10 days. Average high temperature drops from 52 to 49, and our temperatures nowhere near that over the next 10 days, and that's because of the snow on the ground. Now, we're not adding to it tonight. The snow from this morning has headed off to the east, but already the next weather system out to the west, starting to bring some light snow and rain showers. We'll see a mixture of rain and snow showers in here tomorrow afternoon. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Skies are clear tonight, but it is cold. Those temperatures dropping off pretty rapidly. Our high temperature made it up to a balmy 32 degrees. The average high temperature for this time of year is 52. 22 the overnight low temperature, but that's where we've been in the last couple of hours. We've actually gone up 2 degrees in the last hour to 24. Skies are clear. The wind chill this hour is at 18 degrees. As we take a look at Weather Track, the storm system, we're on the cold side of it with snow. There was severe weather moving through parts of the mid-Atlantic states up into New York and Pennsylvania. So when you start seeing those big temperature contrasts, you can see a little of everything. It's not uncommon to see severe weather this time of year, as well as also very strong winds and snow. And the next batch of colder air waiting in the wings behind the rain and snow showers for tomorrow. So while Temperatures are in the 20s here. They warm up a little bit to the west, so we're looking at highs in the upper 30s for tomorrow, and then more cold air just north of the U.S.-Canadian border set to start heading southward again for the weekend. So look for skies to be mostly clear overnight. It'll be colder, low temperature dropping to 19, a few more clouds developing by morning, and then that'll set up a cloudy sky for tomorrow, maybe some rain and snow showers in the afternoon, high temperature topping out at 37 degrees. As we take a look at future track, quiet conditions overnight, low temperatures dropping to the upper teens, and then the clouds move in. We'll see a chance for some rain and snow showers tomorrow afternoon. Shouldn't amount to anything because temperatures will be above freezing. Those will just change to a few flurries tomorrow night, and then on Saturday, plenty of clouds, maybe a few breaks in the clouds late in the day, but high temperatures only in the middle 30s. 7 to 10 day forecast. Again, with that snow on the ground, you just can't see any appreciable warm up. Maybe low 40s by Sunday and Monday. Some rain and snow shower chances on Monday, and then as we head toward the rest of next week, look at the temperatures. They're still back in the mid 30s, even low 30s by the end of the week. Maybe toward the following weekend, we start to see those temperatures going upwards, but that's 10 days off.
We don't really want the snow to be here all the way till March.
Maybe. Well, you know, you get an early snowfall. A lot of times that can keep it cold for a while. Okay. And it's a law of diminishing returns. It normally gets colder after
Full of
this.
good news tonight. Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Badger men's hockey getting an early start to the weekend at Penn State. The story coming up in sports.
The Badger men's hockey team has a Thursday-Friday series this week to open the Big Ten season at Penn State. Wisconsin is second, Penn State fourth in the nation in scoring offense early in the season. So it figured to be quite an offensive shootout, right? Well, not quite as wild as you might think, especially for the Badgers. But their freshman Cole Caulfield having a great season already. On the power play, Caulfield gets his 8th goal of the season, gets the Badgers to within 2-1 with 5 seconds left in the first, but Penn State responds on its power play. The puck goes off the back wall. Dennis Smirnov is there to bury it past Daniel Lebedev. Tonight's final is Penn State 6, Wisconsin 1. Game 2 of the series tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. Madison time. Tomorrow night, the Badger men's basketball team will begin the 2019-2020 season with an exhibition game against UW La Crosse at the Kohl Center just after 7 o'clock. So what should we expect from a team that went 23-11 last year but lost Ethan Happ, Khalil Iverson, and Charles Thomas to graduation? The Badgers scrimmaged Iowa State over the weekend, did some good things.
I always say defense kind of takes a little longer than offense sometimes, but you know we're still a young group, but we're a pretty experienced group. It's hard playing against our own team for 3-4 weeks, but getting a chance to play against Iowa State and a chance like Friday, you know, are great opportunities to get that defensively to mesh a little bit better too.
I think that what we've shown on Saturday and what I think that we will be able to show on Friday is that we can lock down and play defense.
Devontae Adams practiced in helmet and pads for the first time since he suffered his turf toe injury September 26. Matt LaFleur says Adams' status is still day-to-day, but there's growing hope he can play Sunday when the Packers are at the Los Angeles Chargers. The game live on News 3 Now, 3:25 p.m. Sunday. Charles Woodson and Al Harris will be inducted into the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame in April. The two cornerbacks played together with the Packers from 06 to 08. Woodson was part of the Packers Super Bowl championship team in Super Bowl 35. Today's snow has changed some boys soccer tournament game times. Verona and Middleton will play at 4 o'clock tomorrow at Redden. Madison East and Madison West are moved to Madison College tomorrow at 4. And in Division II, Monona Grove at Oregon will now be played at 7 tomorrow night. In the football playoffs, Lancaster and Mineral Point have moved their Division V game to UW Platteville tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. No problems for girls volleyball tournament action. Sectional semifinals tonight in Verona starts with Wanakee and DeForest. Good battle between the two longtime rivals. That Wanakee hit is out. Norskies take the first set, but Wanakee is the top seed. They play like it after that. It's Mila Malik finishing off the match. The Warriors win the final 3 sets and advance. Final scored Wanakee 3 and DeForest 1. And in the second match, it's Verona and Sun Prairie for the 3rd time this season. They split in 2 regular season matches. Verona battling on their home court. Maddie Kelly gets the kill there. The Wildcats win the 3rd set 25-19, but Sun Prairie has the answers tonight. Payton adding to Mia Livingston on this one. Final score, Sun Prairie 3, Verona 1. So it's Wanakee against Sun Prairie in the sectional final Saturday night at 7 in Sun Prairie. We'll be right back.
cold is going to be staying around.
At least the trick-or-treaters are done.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Temperatures right now are in the low to mid-20s through much of southern Wisconsin. In fact, even a few places are in the upper teens up north and west of Wisconsin Dells. And wind chills right now, well, not too bad. I mean, there's not much of a breeze out there, but anytime you get a breeze here in Madison, the wind chills drop to 18. High of 37 tomorrow, some rain and snow showers in the afternoon. Saturday will be dry. Sunday, a slight chance of a rain or snow shower in the afternoon and some rain and snow showers Monday. And then back to the 30s for much of next week before we start warming again the following weekend.
We'll be ready for that. Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 2 Now at 10.
Do something good. Stay warm, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.